A new build here for you today. A couple of small modifications that can go on it, but the main goal of this build is to make the charged coral rifle here useful and viable, which it is. So the general strategy of this build is going to be to force the enemies to close the gap with us and get into more dangerous range so we can use the Wurger. We're going to use you can swap the missiles out either for double 703 PMs if they're kiters, just because it has the fastest reload and very long range at 1500. If you're playing more of a defensive style or like you're not really needing the far range aspect, then you can go for the vertical missiles for more reliability and lack of ability to take cover. The soup missiles are great for tankier enemies just because they have so much impact buildup for non-evasive enemies, but these can be swapped out as well. The missiles you tailor to your opponent. But other than that, what we're going to do is we're going to try to get a little bit of impact buildup if needed with the missiles. We're going to lure them into range for the Wurger, either after kicking them or just directly Wurgering. It's fine to do both, to be honest, because this Wurger does so much damage after the last update, but more importantly, does a lot of impact for very good tracking. Our goal is actually not to break the stagger with the Wurger, though. We want to leave them just a sliver left so that we can then immediately follow up during the mini stun with this charged laser. The laser triggering the stagger means that we're wasting 0 time on the punish. There's no like delay while the animation to line up the shot with this rifle. You basically immediately are doing damage as soon as they stagger, and you miss 0 opportunity, and then you're going to interrupt the laser with a dash right before they leave the laser or right as they leave the laser. Due to regaining stability, and that's going to prevent it from being overheated, meaning you can start immediately charging it again, which the Wurger you should have mostly have off cooldown again, and you can if you can just stall with kicks and whatever else, or activating your armor, you should have enough time to charge the coral rifle again and go for another Wurger combo. So that's how the build works. I feel like everything in here is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty close to the EN load requirements here, so I had to go with this FCS for depending on what I swap out for. If I take the lighter legs, then I'm not going to be able to run the WLT. Other than that, I feel like the Brazil makes sense for this weight. The generator is pretty self-explanatory. It gives me lots of capacity for chase downs, and if I completely expend my energy, it doesn't matter if I'm charging my weapons. I still get the whole thing back. And then I'm just going for a bit of tankiness. So yeah, that's how the build works. Let's jump into some clips. I'll jump into a training example here to show the combo, or sorry, an arena to show the laser rifle going off just before the stagger bar hits, and then we'll jump into PvP. Okay, so we're going to go against Volta first, just because of his extremely high impact threshold, which is the hardest, I think, to handle with this build, because you need to build up a little bit of impact before the fight actually starts, and you close the gap so that your shotgun can nearly do the trick. You don't want it to actually finish the stagger, mind you. You want it to be close, but not enough, so that the coral rifle here's charge attack is finishing the final animation and you're squeezing out all that extra damage. So we're actually going to play defensive at first. The nice thing about these missiles is the extremely short cooldown and extreme range, so it really does force them to close the gap, and if you alternate them, they never get the chance to regenerate their impact. It just slowly builds up, which means we can choose our moment to go in for a kick, to charge shotgun, coral rifle. Try to interrupt it right before the end just to get your overheat prevented, and you rather immediately start regenerating. I'm going to use my armor here just because my impact's getting a little high. I think I'll start charging my coral rifle now. I think we're good. Let's go in. And deleted. There we go. So I'm going to start the match just by trying to pepper him with these plasma missiles at range because of their fast cooldown and extreme range, and just bait him into getting aggressive so that he walks into the Wurger charged shotgun and coral rifle combo. His minigun is pretty scary in close range, so keep our eyes on the ready for needs to activate the the pulse shield. Or pulse armor, mind you. This shotgun charges so fast, but once I do start charging it, I run the risk of needing to wipe my coral rifle if I don't maintain the charge either. So yeah, you can see that stun is extremely reliable. Interrupted the stun on the coil rifle so that we can keep this kind of loose. All right. Easy. Yeah, so this build has this funny knack of being both annoying at extreme range and pretty annoying if you try to close the gap, too. I think he's going to get greedy now. I think he's going to underestimate how much damage this does, though. I overheated that, unfortunately, but that's okay. Oh, I did not mean to charge that. Not bad, first match. So the other guy in the lobby wants to give this a shot. Looks like he's running mid-weight, but laser is probably going to go at long range, and that's a pretty good counter to this build because it doesn't like people that stay at medium range and just do damage. I've got lots of stability, but given the tetra legs, but the health bar isn't anything particularly special. So we'll see how this goes. I think as long as I'm wiggling, though, it should be a trade in my favor. I'm going to try to move a little bit closer over time here. That was I should have used the charge shotgun there, but that's okay. Can't stay at extreme range or my missiles are going to win that trade, I think. Unless I just miss. Alright, not too bad. Made a couple of mistakes, but managed to salvage it nonetheless. Yeah, the charged Wurger now is very scary in close range, not the least of which with these arms. So this build has found a way to make this rifle oppressive. How did I catch that? I thought for sure I was sleeping. I need to probably try to make sure I keep those Oh man, that is a lot of damage. Yeah, this works. I'm gonna try swapping out the legs for a bit more health. It doesn't make too much of a difference in terms of move speed for me, so we'll see if this is a net win for that huge chunk of AP. That's the main difference between these two legs. You get a lot more weight, but you get a lot more AP. He's going stun gun, so yeah, pretty good at smaller mechs. We'll see if he can handle the AP on this guy. The plasma missiles will be a very big threat to light mechs here. You want to make sure you're alternating them. Like, you don't want to fire them together. You want to create two different dodge requirements so that they can't do both. Yep, there we go. Get one. He's going to close the gap on the stun guns in a sec. Going to kick into that. Into deleted. Yeah, no way. Yeah, real nice if I managed to interrupt the overheat on that rifle too. Man, this build is actually really good, guys. I didn't think it was going to be this good. I thought for sure this rifle was going to be at best a headache to make work, but the Wurger is the perfect complement to it, to be honest. I don't even really think it matters if I get any chip damage on him at all. Being able to interrupt that is pretty nice too, I'm not gonna lie. You don't have to go for the charge rifle if the enemy is too fast, by the way. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the ability to interrupt that once I realized that was an option. Easy. Okay, we're against a tankier opponent here, so I'm gonna see about swapping out one of the missiles for the soups, and that way I have more missile pressure for enemies that are slow but trying to be a bit more threatening there. These missiles are probably not the greatest idea in this map, but that's okay. All right, maybe I don't need the charge shock or the charge laser on this one. Just go for passive damage. I wonder why he's playing defensive. There we go. Alright, it worked. I think I like the soup edition. It helps with the tanks a lot. Okay, we're up against another big Chungus leg laser build. Or sorry, never mind. Looks like this one's grenade launcher build. Same idea though. Nuke, shoulders. And he's going to try to go in close quarter. This map doesn't give me a lot of maneuvering room, so I can't stagger him with just the shotgun and like a little bit of impact, but I kind of wonder if I need to open up the coil rifle earlier against tanks and try to kite as long as possible. Okay, so this seems to work. Okay. So, from what I'm starting to experience, the charged coil rifle is basically a defensive weapon that you use when they start to rush in, and you want it to be your impact breaking weapon as well as your punish. So, if you try to do just punish, you're going to miss out most of the damage, and you miss out also on its ability to really get a free discount on the remaining impact required to stun a lot of people. Okay, this guy's got a pile bunker with a burger. That's pretty scary. Fortunately, I think my stability is pretty aggressive against him, so he's going to try to soften up with missiles. I'm going to try to soften up with missiles, and it's going to boil down to who breaks first, I think, here, and goes in for the dash. I do have one advantage. I have vertical as well. And my missiles are really hard to evade. Yeah, you should be afraid, my friend. I mean, I have a lot of advantages. Who was I kidding? I got a lot more stability, a lot more health. Well, actually, not a lot more health, but better missile combination. And you really do not want to rush me, despite him having the Kakaku. I'm a scary rush with this Wurger and Tetra Kit combo. Oh, how did that miss? I don't know why I'm not able to, There we go. I wasn't able to let go of the Wurger, the Coral Rifle, very well there, but that's okay. Okay, another just giant punish build. It's kind of a shame I didn't go for a shield here, but if I'm lucky I can stun away those lasers. I think I'm going to take the same tack though. Bait him into being aggressive with the missiles, and then punish with either a kick, Wurger, or just open up with the Coral Rifle first, depending on their approach style. Okay, I don't really have any trouble with the big tanks, to be honest. They are, they can't really rush me down with the same level of aggression that they can smaller builds because I'm just too much damage overall. Alright, good fight. Okay, looks like a kiting build. I swapped out for the Burzel. In case I need to rush down. A lot of times I found that the coil rifle charge isn't needed for these. It's better just to go for rush down and yeah, just try to keep the fight as close quarters pressure as possible. Yeah, so we take an offensive approach when they're kiters, and we take a defensive approach for pretty much everything else. Yeah, I'm underjudging the Werger shotgun's charge time here by quite a bit. With these guys, I want to get the first stage of the coil rifle, and that's the sweet spot. Get the first charge in.